This digital piano plays itself, complete with moving keys and high-resolution audio outputs. Maybe not surprisingly, it's also the most expensive digital piano that money can buy right now, just nudging out Yamaha's top avant-garde model for that title. Meet the Roland GP9M, the ultimate, I would say, in digital piano entertaining centerpieces at the moment. Now I have questions. Who is this for, and are there really any other differences other than moving keys between it and the GP9? But most importantly, can it handle Chopin Liszt and the internet's favorite litmus test, Rush E? Let's rewind and review what makes the GP9 so interesting to begin with. It's probably the most technically ambitious digital piano to date, with multi-channel digital output from the tone generator, itself operating on pure modeling a la Pianotech. Each amplifier is directly connected with its accompanying speaker, meaning the signal stays digital until the last possible moment. It's got haptic key vibration, it has true modeled damper resonance, and it's got 8 transducers to deliver every possible nuance from the correct point on the piano. It's got a pivot length similar to an acoustic baby grand, and they've got one of the shortest sensor to sound latencies due to a totally rewritten triple sensor algorithm. For those interested in having a digital piano simulate what I would say is a 6-foot acoustic grand as sonically accurate as possible, it really doesn't get much better than this. Now, we've taken a deep dive on the GP9 in a totally separate video, so for those who want an even more thorough peek at that instrument without dealing with the moving keys, please check the description below for a link. So the GP9M is all of that, but with 2 additional features added. A full self-playing feature, as well as a professional DA converter with balanced XLR outputs for pro-level sound systems. Other than that, the 2 are virtually the same. So for customers interested in the visual appeal of seeing the keys move and the sonic experience of a proper sized grand and the convenience of a digital, this is actually a lot more affordable than many other industry options. I've been in this business long enough to still remember $15,000 grand pianos with full player mechanisms being a thing. Now, that's close to the low watermark in 2023 for the smallest mainstream baby grand without a player mechanism. So comparing this to other conventional digital pianos isn't really the right starting point of comparison. It's entry-level new acoustic baby grands with the newest player systems and what the GP9M brings to the table in comparison to that. And in that context, I think the Roland not only has a no-brainer winner for hotels and institutional buyers, but maybe even a shot at a pretty decent slice of the home player market. We are going to give you a quick play of this instrument and give you a sense of what it sounds like and how it reacts as a musical instrument. But finally, we're definitely going to test how well this does with some of the most challenging piano repertoire out there. So as a piano, there's a lot of nuance coming at you, and I've said this in the GP9 video, but I'll state it again. I would say that the middle of the instrument is quite resonant, and the most uncanny, authentic moments where if you closed your eyes honestly on this instrument, you absolutely could swear you were behind a real 5.5 to 6 foot acoustic grand piano, is in the top 2 octaves and in the bottom 2 octaves. The way that the piano is vibrating, the way that there is so much character through the attack and the bloom and the sustain of those notes is really remarkable. I think the reason it's less noticeable in the middle of the piano is because on a real piano, it's also less noticeable in that area. It tends to be a lot more clean and less charactered in the mid-ranges of most instruments if it's done really well. As a pianist, the ability to get in there and quickly modify and customize and find a piano setting which is really responsive, really musical, causes you to feel really connected with the instrument, is easy to do, it's fun to do, and I think this engine gives you as wide a palette, or maybe even the widest palette of any that I've experienced. It's loaded with hundreds of sounds, it's compatible with the app, and the power available through the speakers, and we already mentioned that there were 8 of them, extraordinary, well over 100 watts. What that means is obviously in a home you're never going to need to reinforce that, but for commercial and institutional buyers, even for a larger space, it means that you could probably get away without the need for reinforcement. And of course, it's got all of the other bells and whistles that you would expect on any high-end digital piano these days. A full complement of metronome options, splitting and layering options. The Roland app gives you the ability even to have some auto accompaniment functionality as well as a full remote control. And it comes preloaded with tons of music. It even comes with a physical book that has all of that music in it so that you're able to play along. So let's get to the fun part, which is that this thing plays itself. Keys moving and all. First piece we're going to try out is Chopin's famous Opus 10 No. 4. It's the Nocturne in C# minor. Let's see how it does. So far, so good. Let's up the game a little bit and move on to Liszt's La Campanella. Let's move on to our final test, which of course has to be, I feel, because this is going on YouTube, Rush E, the famous classical masterpiece. Well, if it can handle that, safe to say it can probably handle anything you are going to throw at it as a player, or pretty much any other ridiculous MIDI file you can pick off the internet. And that really is one of the biggest benefits to this system, is that it will take literally any MIDI format. It'll take MIDI format 0, it'll take MIDI format 1, and you have the ability to actually assign which MIDI channel it's pulling from to grab the key motion. So you don't even have to do any editing. You could take literally a raw file right off the internet, get it onto a USB stick, and you're playing it here right away. You can get a whole playlist happening. And as anybody who's familiar with the MIDI file world knows, there's millions of these, and they're all free. It's all open source, and it's a really awesome community that puts these files together. But if the appeal of the moving keys really has you interested, and let's be honest, would you really be watching this video if it wasn't somewhat interesting? Then this just takes the entertainment value of having something like this really to the next level. Honestly, who doesn't like staring at a piano playing itself? It's kind of been an appeal for about 100 years. So there you have it, the Roland GP9M. For sale pretty well anywhere Roland sells instruments all around the world. If you don't happen to be in our area, there are links to great pricing no matter where you are on the world. You just scroll down and have a look. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here with us on the channel. My name is Stu Harrison. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because we'd love to see you back for more. Until next time, take care. We'll see you soon.